Whoa, what is going on here? Wow, there we are. Hello and welcome back to computer science. It's a new week. Um, yeah, what did we do yesterday? I know we were in chapter 5, which I think is arithmetic, or lecture 5. Did we finish lecture 4? Potentially. What would lecture 4 have been about? What would lecture 4 have been about? Not exactly sure. We were in arithmetic lecture 5. We started with arithmetic operations. We learned the typical operators. So an expression is something that evaluates to a value in Python, and a value. Do we learn the definition of a value? It's something that has I don't know. So we got an expression that evaluates to a value, and in memory, once an expression evaluates, it gets replaced by the value. An operator is a symbol that performs a built-in calculation in Python. I'm not exactly sure what a value, the definition is. It's something that has value. It's something that maybe it's an item or a collection of items. No, that's an expression. Anyway, the exponent operator is 2 star signs. Arithmetic expressions, okay. Order of operations, aka the precedence rules in programming. PEMDAS essentially, except for there's an N between the E and the M, so it's PEMDAS, and N is negation, which is the minus sign and turning something in negative or opposite. All right. Chapter 4. What was lecture 4 was about what? Lecture 4 would have been about what? Operators. Objects. Objects. That was one of the sections, objects. I don't know. Objects. These are things that are stored in memory. They got 3 properties. They got a value. They have an ID, and they have a type. Or they're created by the interpreter and stored in memory. We got garbage collection when they're not used, but you can name bind them to keep them in memory. Man, I don't know what that section have been about. What was this other lectures about? Basic inputs and outputs. That was one of them. We talked about syntax. We talked about PEP. That is how to standardize writing. Floating points. That was one of the sections. Floating points is one of the sections. Objects is one of the sections. Would that have been outputs? What? No. Types? No. Data types. Data types. Maybe. Lecture 4 is about variables and data types. Okay. Objects, floating points, overflow, manipulating floating points. That was all yesterday, I believe. A way to manipulate floating points is when you have the print statement, you put an F outside of the quotation marks, and we're going to use brackets with to define the specific floating point and how we want to structure it or output it. All right. So literal is a specific value. That's something else we learned. Programmers will add parentheses to the precedence or to the arithmetic operations just to make it easier to read, even if the parentheses aren't necessarily needed. They're nice to have if they help to be able to read them. Then we talked about the commutative law of addition and multiplication, and that we don't need to put parentheses there because they're unnecessary. But all right, that's going to be the quick overview and recall from yesterday. Now we're going to jump back in, and I'll be back to recall in a little bit. All right, guys, we essentially just finished 5.2, which was Python expressions, which was really just an extension of arithmetic expressions, how to write arithmetic expressions, shorthands for some compounding operations. So what do we got? Okay, compounding operations. This is kind of how to like update one variable if you want to add a number to a variable, if you want to subtract a number from a variable, if you want to divide a variable by a number, if you want to multiply a variable by a number, if you want to find the modulus, I think, of a number. Yeah, I think modulus is just like remainder, but we haven't learned that yet in this course. So if you want to just add a number, you can do plus equals, subtract, minus equals, divide, / equals, star equals, and then percentage sign equals. Those are the shorthand compound operators or operation symbols. Operators and arithmetic. I don't really know that much else. What else do we learn? Typically, you'll want to add a space in between the operators, except if it's a unary minus. That's the negation sign. Otherwise, you want to add a space in between them. I don't know about the double star, like exponent. I don't know if I want to add a space in between that. I think it looks better without it. Like, it's easier to read, but it's not up to me. It's up to the syntax, I guess. But I haven't seen a rule on that. Right. Something about commas. You can't have commas in integer literals. There's no commas. The next section is what? I don't remember. It was something about division. We learned about floor division, though. This is where floor division. So, okay, whatever 5.3 is called, I don't remember, but we've learned two things, really. Division results in a floating point number. Floor division is the operator is double / This will round down to the nearest whole number for division. And if both operands are integers, then floor division will return an integer. If one or both operands are floating point numbers, then a floating point number will be returned. Division and modulo. All right, Python expression, what do we got? Unary minus. Yep, we actually got everything. So that's it for now. I will be back for another session later today. See ya. Welcome back to computer science big picture overview. What did we learn earlier today? Because we will recall it again soon in the future, like tomorrow morning. So just big picture. Python expression, that was 5.2. We're in 5.3. This is division modulo. In 5.2 Python expression, we learned about the spaces between operators. We learned about compound operations. I think that's basically everything. We learned about floor division in 5.3 division of modulo. No commas and integers. Division, integer rounding, division returns floating point return. Okay, let's continue learning then. I'll be back in a little bit. All right, so we learned about the modulus and modulus operator, percentage sign, which basically finds a remainder. With a combination of modulus and floor division, you can do a lot of cool stuff, like pulling out different digits and different place values. If you use modulus 10 and the number has at least 2 digits, you can pull out the ones digit. If you use modulus, I guess if it has 1 digit, if you use modulus 100, and it's got at least 2 digits, you're going to pull out the 2 rightmost digits, etc. The number of zeros in the factor or power of 10 in the modulus is going to pull out that many digits, the rightmost digits from the number. You can do some cool stuff with floor to pull out digits that aren't on the right, just rightmost. You can pull out like digits in the middle. All right. That's pretty much it for that. We're making good progress, but actually really good pace. We're surprisingly accurate for the amount of work there is to do and the pace we're at. So we're about 60% of the way through lecture 5, and so that's due Tuesday and it's Sunday, so we got about another 2 hours to complete it. Should be enough time. We'll have about a day, be a day ahead of schedule, just about how we've been keeping it. So pretty good. That's it for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.